Greetings and welcome to the video. I've spent the majority of time on this channel featuring Constance, our 2020 Kawasaki W800, because she's the belle of the ball, so to speak. I do love our W800 very much, and we have other bikes in our stable that I'll feature one per video. To start this series, the longest term bike we currently own, Bessie, our 2003 BMW R1200CLC is featured. Some history. The R1200C was released in 1997 as an initial cruiser motorcycle from Bavarian Motorworks and was featured in the James Bond film Tomorrow Never Dies. The R1200C has an 1170cc or 71 cubic inch two-cylinder boxer with an over-square bore of 101mm by 73mm and was a vast departure from the stable of BMWs that were currently offered at the time. The reception by America, which was the intended target, was lukewarm at best and downright cold shoulder among the HD faithful, as it was missing their 5 favorite components. American assembled, as HD components are mostly made out of the USA, V-twin motor, belt drive, stage kits, and the ability to pretend to be a 1% rider when one goes up to the pub. To a BMW loyal rider, it was a super interesting machine that kept the bulletproof boxer twin motor that I came to love. There were many variants of the R1200C, and the one that was my favorite, but I never had an opportunity to own, was the fabled R1200C Montauk. A close relative of the Montauk was the R1200CL, which was a full-dress cruising tourer with handlebar-mounted fairing. I was riding a 1998 K1200 RS, which I acquired from my elder brother. Although it was a super fun motorbike to ride, there were a couple of drawbacks. I was a family man and would regularly ride 2-up, meaning I carried a passenger, either my wife or our daughter. The K1200 RS was a lean-forward sport tourer, which became exceptionally comfortable around 70 miles an hour, which is a little faster than most surface and city roads, and the rear accommodations were, shall we say, lacking in regards to comfort and safety in carrying kiddos on the back. Hold on tight was a common phrase. I started looking for the fabled R1200C Montauk, but alas, my quest was set with disappointment, as there were none to be had. All were safe in their stables, cherished by their owners in the great vast expanse of Colorado, USA, where we lived at the time. The Montauk varied from the R1200C primarily with ultra-wide front and rear tires, headlight setup, and handlebars. I am a fan of the look of the big fat tires, and so when the blue R1200CLC showed up at Foothills BMW Triumph Royal Enfield, I had a chat with my wife, went across town, and had a test ride. I'm not sure what month it was in retrospect, but I know it was cold, which was a perfect opportunity to turn on the heated seat and heated grips and hide behind the massive fairing. I'm a fan of letting someone else take the initial hit on depreciation on a motorcycle, especially premium brands, so this one was used. For reasons still unknown to me, the stereo system had been switched out by the previous owner, replacing the stock setup with a marine stereo capable of playing MP3 files from CD. Maybe that was the reason. Whoever did this job, though, did not do a good job. And as a result, Bessie, which is what we call her, was plagued with electrical issues her first season with us. My wife, who is a much better mechanic than I could ever hope to be, had it all sorted out pretty quickly. It had a curb weight of 679 pounds, shaft drive, 60.5 horsepower at 5,000 RPM, or 44.5 kilowatts, 73 foot-pounds of torque at 3,000 RPM, and 80% of that way down low at 1,800. A 3.98 by 2.87 inch over-square short-stroke bore motor, air and oil-cooled, 4 valves per cylinder, 10.1 compression, a 6-speed transmission, and a top speed of 103 miles per hour limited. She's a big girl at 95.1 inches long, 42.3 inches wide, and 56.5 inches tall with a 64.6 wheelbase. Front tire is a 150/80 R16 VR. Rear tire is a 170/80 R15 VR. For riding interstates 2 up, she is a wonderfully built machine. Tame, heavy, and solid on the road. Tons of storage capacity, plush heated seats, a large backrest attached to the trunk for passenger, floorboards, a wide handlebar, comprehensive gauges, and solid wind protection. She's not a racehorse by any means. Think of her more like a workhorse. Large, heavy, stable on her feet, lots of grunt, and able to carry 2 people without blinking. Bessie is the perfect bike for riding highways and interstates of the American West. Long stretches with straights and sweepers, and sometimes over 100 miles in between petrol stops. The fabulous balance of the R1200CL helps it in the mountain roads, but a canyon carver she is not. The riding position is very relaxed. Think of it like sitting in a comfortable chair, a lazy boy. The wide bars help with leverage to convince the big girl to change direction. Underway, she feels lighter than she is, but at low speeds, her weight becomes very apparent. Bessie and I would regularly travel the high desert plains of eastern Colorado, and she was the perfect machine to carry passengers. Large ample room in the seat and full backrest with large foot pegs for passenger and rider. Floorboards for rider. My stepdaughter fell asleep on a rather long ride when she was young, and we stopped for ice cream and some off-bike play to make sure she was awake enough to make it home safely. It was then that I seriously considered using bungee cords to make sure she was strapped in safely. Currently, we're approaching 100,000 miles on the clock for Bessie, and I'm happy to say she's still part of our stable. I have considered selling this wonderful heavy tourer. She's light compared to some of the HD CVOs weighing in at 943 pounds or 428 kilograms. A few times after we moved to the mountain in Vermont, I considered selling her, as getting up and down the twisting, loose gravel roads is not what this bike was built for. But so far, sentimental attachment and enjoyment of this bike still outweighs practicality. Besides, we currently have 5 bikes in our stable, and there are others who easily move up and down the mountain for short trips. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a like, comment, and consider subscribing. We're nearly halfway to 1,000 subscribers and appreciate everyone who takes the time to subscribe to our channel. This is truly the best way you can help us. Keep the shiny side up.